Hi, my name is Travis, and this is something that I've kind of been putting off. I've not really been in the whole internet scene, social media. I don't really put myself out there, but I've always wanted to. I always wanted to be a personality that people can find entertainment in, find comfort in, and I wanted it to be a main part of my life. I kind of want to use this first video as a little bit of an introduction to who I am. So my name is Travis. There's a lot to who I am, and I don't want to make this a huge introduction, but I kind of want to touch on some points that later on I'll go deeper into. So I was born into to be blunt about it, I was born into a cult. My parents were a part of a church called the Worldwide Church of God. Essentially, it was led by this one guy who took advantage of the followers. It was a doomsday type of thing. Jesus is coming back. If you're not a part of this church, you will not be ascending to the new kingdom or whatever. Even if my parents did make some money, we gave a lot of it away to the church. So, we didn't have that much. I grew up in that until I was around 4 years old, and then the church disbanded, and my parents went on to kind of more mainstream Christianity. So I was raised in Surrey, which is the sister city of Vancouver, like a 40-minute train ride away. Not in the best of neighborhoods. I wouldn't say like the ghetto. That was maybe a couple blocks away, but it was definitely a lot of kids who had it pretty hard. So I grew up there. We moved around a lot. It's a strange thing to do, to kind of try to sum up who you are and introduce yourself to a whole internet. It's maybe why I've kind of put off doing this for so long. It's hard for me to even conceptualize who I am. That's kind of what I want to do with this whole exposure, is I want to kind of figure out who I am. I've done therapy and stuff, but hit walls. In high school, I was kind of like I grew up as like a fat kid, first of all, in elementary school. So I was teased a lot, and I was kind of not in the cool circles of kids or whatever. But in high school, it was kind of like a fresh start. All the bullying that happened in elementary school kind of stopped in high school because there was new kids from different schools all coming together, and then I got to meet some new people. I ended up hanging out in the smoking area of the high school a lot during lunchtime and stuff, which would attract the outsider types of people, the weed smokers, the gangsters, and the skaters and stuff like that. So I would start hanging out with them, and I would like smoke weed and hang out a lot. That kind of transformed into like a lot of hanging out on the streets, getting into trouble. So there was a large section of my high school years that was criminal, if you want to say. After high school, and after a few years of doing nothing, I kind of wanted to figure out what the next steps in my life were. Acting was something that I wanted to do. I had always been kind of fascinated with pop culture, because growing up with my parents, we were kind of restricted from what we could view and consume in terms of media. Once I got a taste of what that stuff was all about, I loved it. So I wanted to be a part of that world. So I went to the Vancouver Film School and I studied acting. Graduated out of there, and I kind of did some stuff with it. At this point, I had already been doing background work in film and television for many years. Real life kind of snuck up and adult responsibilities started to come up. This is when I was around 22 or 23. And I started working as a restaurant worker. Those years, my early 20s, were kind of just surviving, because I had moved from Surrey into Vancouver, which is, if you know anything about Vancouver, a very expensive place to be. That dream of working in film kind of slowly faded away. It's still there, like in my mind, I still want to do it. And I think I'm going to give it another shot. A part of what stopped me is like a lack of confidence. But doing stuff like this and reevaluating my life, I think I will be able to one day get in front of more cameras and really flesh out what the whole thing is to me and what it means to me, because I'm still really interested and I'm passionate about media, about entertainment and art. I want to do this. I do think I'm going to do a lot of confessional style stuff. Basically, I want to start exposing myself as a means of figuring out who I am. I'm 29 years old now, and I haven't really fully got a grasp on who Travis is. So I want to explore that, but I don't want to do it alone. I want to do it with you guys. Through film school, I definitely figured out who I am a bit more. Through therapy, relationships that I've had definitely helped form who I am. But I want to really nail it down. I want to figure out, what do I love to do and how can I make that my life? And hopefully you guys can help me to do that. So if that sounds interesting to you, it doesn't sound like the best pitch of all time, to go on a journey with somebody of self-discovery. But maybe it is a good pitch, because I know there's a lot of people out on the internet who use it as a tool for escapism. That's what I've been doing for a long time. And it would be nice if there was somebody who was genuine and honest, who I could follow along with. And if they were on a journey of self-discovery, I could maybe also take inspiration from that and be on a journey of self-discovery myself. So maybe that is you. Maybe you'd like to figure out who you are, and I can help in some sort of way. I'm no expert, but we can grow together and learn together. And I think that's one of the great things about social media. So if that does sound interesting, I'll be here on YouTube and you can follow me, subscribe or whatever. Generic YouTuber outro. Okay.